facing head-on the emotions beneath the surface as we bridge from an old world of confusion and lack to a beautiful new world of freedom, abundance, and love with straightforward truth and inspired hope is what you'll find on The Charla Anderson Show. Collector and connector of fascinating people. And everyone is fascinating. Here's your host, Charla Anderson.
Good, beautiful day, you beautiful, beautiful souls. This is Charla Anderson, host of the Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating, especially you. Super glad you could join me today. This is Charla's Chat, the fourth Wednesday. I do a solo show, and we're talking about one of my top favorite subjects. And it seems like we talk about it a lot, but it's values and have they changed over the last couple of decades, and boundaries and legacy, and how does that all tie together? And how do you know where you stand in all of that? So we can do some deep dive discussion around that. But first, we're going to do our 22-second mini vacation. Yes, our little settling breathing exercise. So we're going to breathe in calm for 7 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds and going to breathe out gratitude. Take 22 seconds of your life and settle down with me right now. So here we go. Breathing in calm, 7 seconds. Here we go. Hold. Release. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's do that more often. We need a be still and know moment several times during our day, don't you think? And we can just start centering and grounding a little bit better. Thanks for that, joining me with that. I do it every week. And I love it. I love taking that moment. So this week, I've been thinking a lot about the values and how have they shifted over the last couple of decades, and what do you think the most prevalent value is in our society right now? And we'll just have some, just some discussion around all that. And what do you think? And how do you know if we start instilling our values, the values that we value the most into the children? You know, when you have your values set and you're committed to them and you're convicted of them, decisions become so much easier. And won't that be handy? Wouldn't that be handy as a teen? You know, you're moving into the teen years and you already know one of your values is, say, cleanly. I'll say clean room. You know, you can either choose messy or clean. It's a value. Purity. What if it's purity? What if value is, I want to stay pure for my my marriage, perhaps. That's the old-fashioned way. Really, it probably works. But it's if you make a decision ahead of time about what is important to you, your values, your life becomes less torn. I mean, and you're not reacting to everything. Going back to the purity one, if you know that that's a value that you want to have as a young adult, or even as out in the world, you want purity. And if that's important, then you make the decision ahead of time before you get in those situations that might cause that to be compromised. Then you can work through, play act, pretend and act as if you're in a situation and you're like, this goes against my values. It doesn't work for me. It's just one pretty powerful one if you stop to think about it. And I was thinking, I got a little almost 3-year-old grandbaby, and as we go, is she going to want to, you get to choose. Do you want your life to be more peaceful, or do you want to be more active? Do you want to have a clean room, and every time you wake up or go in your room, you're like, you know where everything is, you're organized, you have things. Those are values you get to choose. And a lot of us are, if we haven't thought about it very much, sometimes our values are less constant in our lives, in our world. So I invite you to consider, in one way, this is how it is. And I as an observer, because I'm an observer, I'm an information gatherer, and I'm an observer, and I watch, and I'm watching there's uh, you know, certainly younger than me, a lot younger than me, generations that are so engaged in their devices, and I believe this is an opinion from observation, that the highest value I believe our society is evolving into, or has evolved into, is entertainment. Because the way you know what your value is, what your values are, and I've said it several times on my show, but looking at your checkbook and your calendar, and we don't have checkbooks and physical calendars anymore generally, but your time and your money. If you are literally, scroll, it's so funny, oh, this, I want to show you this one. You're absorbing a lot of influence out in the world, but it's how it's your time and your money. What am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? I mean, not wear, but entertainment. What am I going to play? What movie I'm going to see? What am I going to read? Any of that is all entertainment based. And so you want to understand that that's a value. And if another value is education, or if another value is integrity, and you honor your word every single time, then you know that ahead of time. You plan that. And when, hey, we're going to a party, and you're supposed to study, then your values are already set. I wish I had understood this, first of all, for my children better. I wish I had understood it for myself better. I just didn't think much about it, and had certain level of morality, so to speak, or whatever, but knowing what's important to you and what it looks like in practical ways. If your value is, I want a sobriety, perhaps you want, and you're tempted by that, then, think ahead. How will you say no in these situations? How will you answer to those temptations, perhaps? If your value is work ethic, what if you know that you value work ethic, and work ethic meaning, I'm going to do the best I can wherever I am, in any situation. If my job is mopping floors or cleaning toilets, then I'm going to be the best toilet cleaner, floor mopper they've ever had. If that's your job, because you've chosen, it is a choice to be there, because where you are is all you have. And I say that almost every week, right? Because if we've chosen that path, be there. Do it. Do it well. Do it right. Do it with excellence. And that is the fastest way, in my estimation, to move on up, if you up the ladder. Because, I remember Jim Rohn talking about, if you remember old Jim Rohn, the late Jim Rohn, he talked about minimum wage, and I think he was talking about it being $3 or something way back then. And he said, it doesn't matter what it is, because you don't want to stay there. It's a ladder you want to climb to make yourself better, to make yourself more valuable to the workplace. You've got a great opportunity. Those that powers that be will be watching and finding out that you have your value is excellence in the workplace. My value is excellence, not perfection. I've never, I have that tendency towards perfectionism when I get involved in something, but I want excellence no matter what, and I expect it. And I expect it from you and other people. And I expect it, and I expect a win-win. Win is a value. That's a value as well. How can we collaborate and make things, my mama said, leave the world a better place. Let's choose our values wisely. So I did a course, I guess it was in May, a little mini class called Adults Need Boundaries Too. And it was really a legacy building exercise. And I have some of those values kind of pulled up here that we talked about. So Aristotle had these virtues, and courage and temperance and liberality. Magnificence was one of his, magnanimity, patience, truthfulness, wittiness, friendliness, shame, which I don't, in our world, that doesn't fit, but our definition, but that was on his number 10 on his list. And justice and modesty. Tom Ziegler, one of my mentors, Tom Ziegler, Zig Ziglar, proud son of Zig Ziglar. He has 10 leadership values: selflessness, standing firm, self-control, humility, looking for the best, never giving up, kindness, being the light, respect, and positivity. Well, and some of Charla's favorites: integrity, respect, kindness, humility, generosity, unconditional love, trustworthiness, honesty, courage, and fun. Fun's a value too. Yeah. So I just want to give you some core value examples. So humble leadership from the top down, everyone empties the trash if it needs. You pick up after yourself, you wipe the tables from the top down, from the CEO all the way to the floor cleaner, right? So that's a great core value for me, that we work from the top down. I'm going to actually talk about Zurvita, a company that means the risen life in Latin. I've been with that company it's a network marketing company, but I've been with them for 16 years, since 2008. Zeal Wellness, superfood beverage, unbelievable, with everything you can imagine in it. One ingredient has stabilized rice bran, has over 100 micronutrients in it. Beautiful. I'm 70 years old. It's called talking about having energy. Ta-da. Let's look at Zurge. Oh my goodness, memory boosting coffee. I love it. Instant coffee that I drink every day. And Zendora, skin quality on the inside and out. Zurvita, Charla. Zurvita.com/Charla. Go take a look. And that's Zurvita. The reason I brought that up right now is that's their 3 core values, and that's the reason I'm still with them. Humble leadership. Nobody gets greedy at the top. I just love that. Anyway, authenticity is another core value that I love. Everyone is real, and it's real is like a relentless expression of authentic love. I just saw that cute definition. Integrity, honor your word. Honor your word. Take the high road. And when it's hard, take the high road. Why not? that's your value. If that's your value, you can't do otherwise. Bold faith, no fear is one of my core values. Outrageously courageous and outrageously optimistic, but I stand in the authority that I have as a child of the Most High to have bold faith and no fear. Step towards those fears, or step towards the gun would be one of my books, because I had a gun at my head and I stepped towards it and said, "You need love," and they ran without fear. That's the key on that one. Leave things better than you found them. My mama said, leave things better than you found them. Make the world a better place. Pick up after yourself. If there, and I did this, I believe, recently, when I was like, if there's just 3 or 4 laws, and it would make our world so much better if we just be kind, just do no harm, leave things better, wipe up after yourself, pick up after yourself, leave things better than you found them. And all of those are kind of the golden rule, right? If we just treated each other the way we want to be treated, the way and lift instead of judge, lift each other instead of judge each other, love each other, love one another. And the harder people are to love, the more they need it. Love them anyway. You don't have unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, not unconditional boundaries. Okay. Not unconditional boundaries. But may you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. This is a constant message that I'm always sharing out here on my show and in the world, because a master is one who blesses. Don't you want to be that master? So leaving things better than you found and finding your core values, those are some of the most important ones in my world. I was looking at in my little course that I did. And if anybody out here listening to this, send me an email, charla@charlaanderson.com. If you want the slides to this little course, we can work on that, or some of these little things I'm reading from. This was the slide deck from my mini course, Adults Need Boundaries Too. So there's a continuum, the virtue continuum. So if my integrity is one of my highest values, what's the extremes? One is corruption, mass corruption, and the other extreme would be legalism, where you're, strong fist. So discernment, a great value. One extreme without it is foolishness, being just foolish. And one extreme the other way, the excess, is judgmentalism. People are just trying to get through the world the best they can. Love them through it. Let's love people. And this being offended about everything and walking around with a chip on your shoulder, man, it's an unhappy life. You don't realize it, but you're building those tracks in your brain of unhappiness when you're a complainer, or when you're looking for what's wrong instead of what's right. So there's this virtue continuum. Love is a value. It's selfishness if it gets too far to the deficient side, and it's enablement if it gets too far to the excess side. Respect, without it, the deficiency is disregard, and the excess would be idolatry. So it's an interesting virtue continuum that I found, and the humility, it's on the bad side. Without it, you've got pride, and on the excess, you've got degradation. So diligence, temperance, courage, this whole list is pretty interesting. What's the extremes. So when we walk down that center lane of the virtues that are important to us, then we know how we're going to treat the next person. We know how, when I have this vision of someone that I feel like is just, that I know personally, that I feel like is in this reactionary mode. It's like watching someone self-destruct in a way when they don't have convictions and commitments and convictions on what's important to them. And they're just blown with the wind. And if somebody, we go this way, and it's a little sad to see, and spending lots and lots and lots of time on that, scrolling and laughing and thinking on, I don't know, all those reels and TikToks and whatever they are, that's other people's lives. You're not living your life when you're doing that. And I just saw something popped through, and I didn't grasp it. I wish I would have looked at it a little closer. But I'm an information gatherer. I absorb things. I want to know, and I'm a personal development junkie, and I'm, and what this thing that caught my eye was like, instead of more content absorption, live it, do it, be it, be it. And this is a question I wanted to. Alan Mikolai was one of my guests. I think it was middle of June, June 12th or something like that. And he has, his message is unconditional love as a leadership quality that he operates in. Amazing conversation. Oh my gosh, he's just phenomenal, and it's worth going and listening to his our show. But his mom asked him when he was a little bitty boy, called him in from outside and said, "Hey, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be when you grow up?" Instead of, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" Phenomenal question, if you ask me, because when you know who you want to be, what you want to do becomes a lot simpler, because you're going to be that person no matter where you are. Like we talked earlier, it doesn't matter what level you are, if who you are is the best person you can be. And so when you start asking young people, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a leader? Or do you want to be a follower? Do you want to be popular, or do you want to be business? Get your business set up. Whatever. There's those questions are worth asking, and I just love having these thoughts about all this, because I had, when is the last time you really evaluated? I guess when I mentioned that I think over the last few decades that technology has made it so easy, which, rooting for our team, it's entertainment, 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 instead of, remember back in the day, we would go to the library and check out books, and we would read, even though that's sometimes considered entertainment, it's also education, but you're holding it in your hand. You're actually, there's not one thing on the face of the earth that you can't find out about in a library. There's a place to be still and know and just go listen. And that's one of the most underutilized services that I believe we have in our society. Go to the library. It's quiet and peaceful, and usually beautiful and calming, and take some time to really assess your values, assess your legacy you want to leave. What are your dreams? What are your desires? How do you figure that out? And I'm going to just say, legacy, according to Tom Ziegler again, legacy is when you teach and transfer the habits that build character, integrity, and wisdom that will ripple through eternity. Learn to transfer your legacy by design, not by chance. You're leaving a legacy anyway. You're working from values anyway. What if you were very clear on them? What if you really understood that the importance of all of that is beyond measure? Excuse me. So what areas of your life do you need to set better boundaries, to choose your values, to leave a legacy? What do you want to leave? Do you want to be a powerful leader? Do you want to just not care? I mean, basically, just get by, just get by. So many people seem to just not have the desire to do much more than just get by. In our society, things are tough right now. Wow, for everybody I know. And like I said, I'm outrageously optimistic that there are more good people than bad, and that when push comes to shove, we pull together as humanity and work together. And we've got to do that. I believe if that's our really important value, is to get keep our communities and our families and our communities taken care of. And so that's just one of the things that I believe we can start with, is just making sure our families had this conversation. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What's important to you? Take time to consider all of that. So what you just want to focus a little bit more on your core values, and look at your checkbook, look at your time, look at your money, and discern. I would love to send you the Adults Need Boundaries too, the little mini course I did. I think it was well received. I enjoyed teaching that and learning about it for you. So I will just, once again, I want to encourage you to enjoy. I'm going to actually do a mini commercial for my Zeal Wellness, Zurge coffee, memory boosting coffee, Zendora skin from the inside out. Please join me and look at these amazing products. It would help me. I would love to show it to you and share it with you. So Charla, I'm sorry, it's Zurvita.com/Charla, and you can take a look. Contact me. This has been a wonderful time for me today, just to remind myself, remind you about our values, our boundaries, our legacy. And ultimately, I intend to have a legacy builder society type of thing, a little group that we continue this conversation. Go to charlaanderson.com. Take a look. I'm still evolving that website, of course, but there's, we're working on things there. I'd love to have you read my books. The Change. Oh my gosh. Do you want to have the book, The Change, Insights into Self-Empowerment, with Les Brown on the front? I'm in book number 21. We're looking for authors, and with the credibility factor of being in with Les Brown. Take a look. You never know. Read my books. Candy Bar Hugs. It doesn't take much to make a difference. A tiny book with a big message. Tiny book. 25-minute read on Audible. And Split Second Transformation. Change your words, change your life. 31 daily practices. Your words matter. Every word matters. So this is a little bit about me this day. So if you take a listen to this later on, and just contact me, Charla at charlaanderson.com. I love you. I think you're perfect. I know you're perfect, exactly who and where you are right now. You can't do anything to be loved more or loved less by God or by me. If you receive that, because hurt people, if you don't love yourself enough, then you might be the bully in the situation, right? If you don't, bullies are, people are hard to love. Most often do not love themselves enough to not to love other people the way that needs to be shared. So do that. Think of it. Love one another. Just be, just be, just be. You don't even have to strive when you just can be. You know your values, you know your value. You are worthy exactly who and where you are. Exactly who and where you are right now. And I encourage you to reach out if there's any encouragement that you can do. I am an encourager. So blessings to you. I'm going to say, as I usually do, I hope to always, always, always have you choose joy.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. The Charla Anderson Show. Encouraging you to stand strong and courageous with bold faith, no fear, immense hope, kindness, and love, especially towards yourself. Visit charlaanderson.com for replays, blogs, and more on her ever-expanding website, as well as watch her live TV show on winwinwomen.tv, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And so that we can continue learning together and growing this community of beautiful souls, we invite you to share the Charla Anderson Show with your circle of friends. Until we meet again next week, remember always, choose joy.